Hi, this is Mark at Dingdong's Garden. This is the fifth and actually we're already into the sixth week of our mulberry harvest. And just about everything has been well along the way in terms of fruiting. And I just want to touch on a few topics here. One is Illinois Everbearing. It is only now starting to fruit. These are newly ripened fruit. There's no fruit on the ground here, so that means to me that this is still in the early phases. Let's take a taste. That's good. It's really hard. Everybody's always chasing the newest type of variety and in the quest for the best tasting mulberry. Illinois Everbearing is very good. It's very hard to beat. Perfect mix of sweet and tart. I don't see any reason if you just want one mulberry tree, this is a great one to have. The only downside is that it takes longer to fruit. And let's talk a second about that term everbearing. Where does that come from? Well, you can see here that this bud that was right here grew into a small branch. And as that branch grew out, it set fruit. And these three haven't ripened yet. So what Illinois Everbearing does, it just delays the ripening of the fruit that is set at the same time as all the others. And the term everbearing might be like a marketing term or something, but it might also just be kind of the people have the feeling that it goes forever because it's going to fruit long past all the other ones because they're slow to ripen. This fruit here started ripening after the majority of the other varieties, and these two will take a long time to continue to ripen. But the idea that it's continually setting fruit in the summer is just it's just not the case. The fruit is set at the same time as all the other fruit. It just takes a little longer to ripen up. And just to travel back in time to Lawson Dawson here, I'm we're here in the fifth and sixth week, and Lawson Dawson is still putting out some fruit. So I mean, we could call this Lawson Dawson Everbearing. Great, gosh, it's great fruit. So this would give you fruit early in the season, and then Illinois Everbearing would start fruiting later and continue to give you fruit then. Another latecomer is Morris Nigra. This is Noir de Spain. There's a lot of other versions like Black Beauty and Persian. They're all I think they're all the same genetically, but they just have different names. We have all three of those, but this is the only one that's kind of fruited for us so far. And then the last topic of this series is going to be going through. We're at the end of the fruiting season for a lot of our trees here, and I know what I want to reproduce en masse now to get an orchard. I got my favorites down, and so I'll be back out here in a minute, and I'm going to prune back this Kip Parker. My pruning method, like for this upright in the middle, I'm going to cut it at the top to encourage branching along the sides. I'm going to cut it in the aisle here so that I can have, it's not going to continue to grow out into the center of this lane. And I'll try to encourage some more bushiness or growth in the middle so that I end up with this just really tall hedge structure that's kind of within its allotted space. And then I'm going to take those cuttings and I'll show you how I try to do propagation in the summertime with green cuttings, greenish cuttings, growing live wood, basically. Okay, here's our tree that we're going to prune, pick Kip Parker. And it's really difficult to see in here. I apologize for not being able to do a clearer video, but we'll go ahead and prune it, take the cuttings, try and propagate them, and I'm going to try and bring it back down to size in this, so I have space in the rows to either side, and so it's not totally overtaking the trees next to it. So let's see how it goes here. it's crazy because there's still a lot of fruit on these trees, but I just run out of time in the summer to work on these things. So and so here, so this, it's kind of impinging on this. I'm going to cut here and then over here. And then hopefully these branches will grow up as we go through that season. And then on this side, I've got quite a bit of space in here. So I'm going to leave this guy in place. I'm going to come over here and cut that. And then on this side, this is the south side, so everything's kind of leaning in this direction. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cut these out so I just cut these out so I don't have a problem with, too much growth on that side. And then in here, I'm going to be pretty brutal. And then I'm going to cut these 3 right here, or 4. There's some more down there too. I'm going to cut these, and then hopefully the growth will be vertical over the course of that the next season here. And then I take all of the weaker branches that are down below here, and I'm going to cut them out too. So let me bring out my other clippers. Okay, and here we are. So I've got kind of a clear path on either side of the tree now. I've got a clear path on this side. I've got a clear path on this side. I'm going to cut this guy right here. And now, so I can, clear path here. I've got height on these guys. This is probably where I want to be in terms of height. So I'm not going to bring these back. These are kind of in the area that I want to dedicate to this tree. So I think the last part I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the tops of these to encourage some side growth, and then yeah, we'll just let it go. And then I'm going to take all of the cuttings and we're going to go up and do a massive attempt at propagation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these. Okay, here we are. We're going to take these. We've gone ahead and cut them, put them in rooting hormone. We've left a little bit of foliage on it, and I think we've got about 60 different Kip Parkers, maybe 2 or 3 per 9-inch pot, and we'll go ahead and put them in our humidity tent. Here's our humidity tent. It's basically just a rack with a piece of plastic over the top. And these guys will get light from above, and they won't desiccate or they won't lose water over time because we'll keep the humidity high in here. And one way we do that is sometimes I'll just come in and manually use a spray bottle to just open it up and spray in to maintain it. But I also put a
I put a pan of water on a heat mat underneath the humidity tent, and that will create a lot of humidity for the inside here. So we just let it go, just basically let it go for a month. If the soil does start to dry out, which it shouldn't, we'll just put a tiny bit of water in the bottom and let it soak up, but we won't spray them or water them like that. So, all right, we'll be back in a month.